Hello everybody. I know everybody's been waiting for this year-end review of the CEYOMUR cameras, and got Jared here with me. Of course, we're sitting here on the front porch of his soon-to-be new home and down on his farm. But we're going to talk about the CEYOMUR CY65, the CEYOMUR CY50. Hopefully this ain't a real long video. And what I've got here in the box, this was the one that was originally sent. And this is the CY65, and it came with the manual, came with the camera, it's still in the wrap, still got the covering on the lens and everything, and it came with your box that has the, and I know you're going to be talking about that here in just a minute.
Yep.
It come with the screw-on
Tree mount
or 4x4 post mount, whatever. Come with the strap, and we've already done a review on the strap. The strap's not very good.
Well, no, well
The buckle isn't.
Well, one of them was, one of them wasn't.
I think
one of them came with a good strap with a good buckle, and one of them came with a real cheap plastic buckle to where whenever you tried to cinch it up, the buckle just broke.
CY65, that's the real cheap plastic.
That's the cheap plastic one. So whenever you would put that on a tree and you try to give it a cinch, and I'm not talking, you know, He-Man tighten it, but just enough to where it's not going to slide around on the tree. That buckle on the first one we tried, it just split. It cracked. And
that was the CY65 we set in the field.
Yep. And
that's when we went to
this piece, which is the tree mount or post mount, whatever you want to call it.
It's the disc,
and
it's got piece here it bolts on, swivels up. You can mount your camera up right, whatever.
In the bottom of the camera, on the back side, you've got a piece here, which I don't know if you can see. Right here. And of course the camera screws down on top of it.
And it comes with the mounting screws for the plate. But this one was the first one that they sent to me. And I was tickled to death to get to use this thing. This one did not work.
Straight out of the box.
Straight out of the box. Now, the thing is, I've heard several other people. My good friend Dan with Whitetail Warriors Hunting Club, he bought one, did not work out of the box. He contacted them, they sent him another one. I think he had the same problem. I can't remember for sure, but he was very disappointed in it.
The one thing I will say is, they are very good about if you contact them and saying, hey, this didn't work, or hey, this is wrong. They're really good about sending you a new camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give them props on that. That it's not like some of these companies where you have to show your birth certificate and your proof of receipt and your citizenship to try to get a replacement. They'll send you a replacement if the camera didn't work.
Because when I contacted them, because they contacted us to do a review, and I told them right off the bat, we'll do a review, we'll do a year-round review, and we'll give our pros and our cons. And when I contacted them about the CY65 and said, hey, this thing won't work, they had to go through several steps, still didn't work, they sent me another one so we could review. And that's the one we put out. And Jared used it all year long, and we had some issues. We'll get to that in a minute. Then here was the CY50 they sent me. This one still has batteries in it right now. Fresh set of batteries. Because I still, every now and then, try to open it up. And what was great about these, they have a view screen, both of them, right in the front. This is the only thing that opens up.
That view screen helps in multiple ways. One, for aiming the camera.
That's exactly right.
And honestly, that's the main thing I used it for. Looking at your pictures on that screen, man, that's such a tiny screen. And when you get pictures, you know, in the hundreds, 100 pictures, 200 pictures, 300 pictures, trying to look at 300 pictures on that tiny little screen doesn't really doesn't jive very well. But
the CY65 is Wi-Fi, and they have an app. I'll let Jared explain what he thinks about the app.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute, but it's nice that you can see your pictures, so you can make sure that they're there. But at the same time, the main pro that I have for that screen is aiming the camera, because if you don't have that screen, you have to try to guess what that lens is looking at, what it can see. With the screen, you can set that camera, turn it on, and you can step out of the way, and you can actually see the area that it's looking at. So
that way you can make your adjustments.
You can get that camera leveled. You can get it, you know, pointing in the direction you want it.
Right.
Now, as far as the app goes for the 65,
it was easy to download.
I'm just going to be blunt. It sucks. Everything about this app sucks. It's Bluetooth. So you go to their app. What's the range? It was like
30 feet.
30 feet. What I've found is sometimes it would work if you were within 30 feet. Most of the time you'd have to be 8 feet, 10 feet from the camera to get it to connect properly. The app process, whenever you open the app, you select the camera, and it brings up your menu, and you have to hit OK on that, and then it starts connecting. In the beginning, when you'd hit OK, it would link, and then there came your pictures. Now, the first issue I had with this app, when everything was working properly, your pictures would come up, and okay, we're down here on the farm. I would have 80 pictures, 100 pictures, because we'd let it go for a month before we'd check it.
Yeah.
So you're connected to the camera. All of your pictures come up in what look to be thumbnails. You can't click on them and look at them with the app.
Yeah.
You have to download every single picture. Well, I use my cell phone. I don't want to download 200 pictures to my cell phone.
And you had videos
And
as
if
well.
you have it set to video, or you have it set to pictures and video, you're quickly going to eat up your cell phone's memory. I'm not saying keep them on there, but let's say you're baiting. If you're baiting and you have
1,000 pictures.
1,000 pictures or 500 pictures,
you're going to be there an hour downloading.
Well, your cell phone isn't going to be able to hold most of it, for one thing, if you've got videos and stuff, because it does video in high definition. I'll give it that, and it records sound. And the sound was crystal clear. I mean, everything about that.
On the CY65, yes.
The sound was crystal clear. The pictures were good, but you had to download everything, and it kind of sucks when you go to check your camera in the rain, and then you've got to stand there for 15, 20 minutes downloading pictures just to look at them.
Yeah.
So that part of the app I didn't like. When it brings up those thumbnails, I should be able to access them, make it full screen, and go through my pictures and save the ones I want. And then delete everything that I didn't want, or just delete the card in general. But so that was my first negative that I had at the time, other than a few of the issues we had in the beginning, was that I didn't like the fact that I couldn't just click on a picture and look at it. I had to download them. Well, then as time went on, the app started getting wonky, if you want to say. It would find your phone, Bluetooth, would find the camera, and then you'd click to connect to it, and it wouldn't connect. So then the process that I was having to do was I would have to close the app completely, open it back up, and when I opened it back up, because it had already found the camera, then it would work. And it was a lot of extra hassle and crap that, you know, somebody who hasn't done the troubleshooting, they're just going to think their camera's not working anymore.
Right.
It is working, it's just, it's not working the way it's supposed to. Then, as far as compared to other apps that I have the, which I don't even know if you can find these anymore. It's the Wild Game Innovations SD card reader.
You can still find them.
Well, because this camera's Bluetooth and the app sucked so bad, I just started pulling my card like regular, putting it in this, plugging this in my phone, and their app works flawlessly.
Right. You can actually view your thumbnails.
It gives you all your thumbnails. You can look at them right off the card.
You don't have to save them to your phone or nothing.
And then let's say you've only got 20 pictures. You don't feel like saving them. You don't want to delete them. You can look at them without having to download them. You can leave them there. Or if you find out that those 15 pictures aren't quality pictures, you can go ahead and clear them, all with this device connected to your phone.
Yeah.
So that's the route I ended up doing with this camera because the app was so awful. The whole interface of it was just, it was a nightmare to deal with. Like I said, in the beginning it wasn't too bad other than you had to download your pictures. But as time went on, every time you went to connect to your camera, you'd select the Bluetooth. It would find your camera and it gives you a big green check mark that it found it. Well, then you had to connect. So you would hit the connect button and it would give you a countdown. Well, in the end, it stopped connecting unless you closed the app completely, reopened it. And you might have to do that 2 or 3 times before it would find the camera. And I could be standing right next to it. I could set my cell phone on top of it, and it wouldn't connect. So there was a lot of issues with the interface on that.
The quality of the pictures, though, was great. The video was great.
The videos were really good.
The audio was good on the CY65. And we did find an issue later using this mount that we were talking about.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. But
I'll let you get to it.
So, like I said, the strap that came with this one, the buckle on it was trash. So we went to the tree mount.
Yeah, using this.
And, you know, we screwed it into the tree. With this piece here, you know, you lock that on, then you run you some screws in, screw that to the tree. And that worked well. You know, the camera was mounted just like this with the mount. And I believe it's when we went to deer camp. When we went to deer camp, now granted this...
It turned on the base.
Well, we had a raccoon or something, I think it was a raccoon, I think I had pictures of it, that ended up turning this camera like this sideways, and it was like that for about 2 or 3 days, and then it ended up upside down for 2 or 3 days. After that happened, the viewer lens for the camera got moisture inside of it, which we have pictures of. We'll probably show that right here. It got moisture inside that viewing lens. The only place on this camera that I can look at whenever you're holding it, that moisture, I believe, could have gotten into this upper section, because it's sealed real well. I mean, it does look like a really well-made camera, and it looks sealed really well. But the only place that I think that water got into this camera is right here.
Where the speaker is.
If you look right there, that's the speaker for the audio, and I believe that's where your microphone is at. So that is the only place in this case that is open that moisture could have gotten in. And after the moisture got in there, it was still taking pictures the way it was supposed to, but you couldn't see them.
They were blurry.
The whole lens was fogged up. Any of you that's had a rifle scope that's fogged up on the inside, that's exactly what happened here. I took it out of the field, took it home in my house, put a different camera out in the field. The one that I have has since dried out inside. But to me, that is a design flaw. And I could do without the microphone and the sound if it's going to keep my camera from getting moisture inside of it. Having the sound is neat. You have a buck coming through and he grunts or something. You have a turkey early in the morning that's gobbling. You've got video of it. You know, that's awesome. It really is. But to jeopardize your pictures by allowing moisture into the camera, I would just assume do without it, or find a way to do that with it being
or
sealed.
not use this mount whatsoever.
Or not use that mount, but
have a better buckle.
But then you still run a risk. You still run a risk because if it allows moisture in over time, over years of use, moisture is going to collect inside that camera, especially in the summertime when it's high humidity.
Now, you've heard us talk about pros and cons together, but here's the pros. This thing has 3 IR sensors on it. Got one here, one over on this side and this side. Hopefully I got that up in the frame. But you got 3 PIR sensors, whatever they call them. So when something's coming in from the side, it picks it up. The other benefit is, well, the other pro for it, great pictures, great video.
Yep. Great audio quality.
Great audio quality. And the view screen.
Now this one here is so much nicer. When you open this up, the view screen, your buttons, everything in here is so much nicer than what the CY50 has. The CY50 looks like a cheaper,
right,
you know, run-of-the-mill camera. This one here looks a lot nicer, a lot more sleek, as far as the viewfinder and your menus and stuff go.
SD card goes on the side, so all this is protected, and it's got a place for a lock. Now it's got to be a small shank lock, but it's got a place for a lock, so nobody can tamper with your SD card if you lock it up.
Right.
The other pro is it does have holes here in the sides for a Python cable to go through to lock it to your tree.
And another pro is this camera, compared to the CY50, has large strap slots.
Yeah.
I mean, those are, what, an inch and a quarter, inch and
something
a half?
like that, yeah.
You know? For a strap, so, you know, some of these ratchet, you could put a ratchet strap through there if you had one, you know.
Yeah, the cinch-up type that don't have the hooks on.
Right, and you could run that through there. Now, with the CY50, the CY50 has much smaller. You have to have a lot
That's
smaller.
about 3/4 inch.
Yeah, a lot smaller strap on this one. So it's a little bit harder if your factory strap dry rots or something like that to find a strap for this one compared to that one.
And the other pro to this, like I said, the view screen, the PIR sensors, there's 3 of them, so it catches from the sides as well.
Right.
The Python cable, you mentioned the strap is wider. SD cards on the inside. Rubber gasket all the way around this compartment. Okay, now like Jared mentioned, one of the cons.
But see, that's what I'm saying. This lower door, my first thought was maybe that's where the moisture came in. But it does have that rubber gasket that seals this whole lower section. And if the moisture had gotten in here, it would have been trapped inside of here too. Right. It was just in the viewer lens, or the camera lens.
The other pro is, for this camera, you open it up, there's no way to put batteries in it here. That's one good feature. You open up the door, you push a button. Let me push it. Battery compartment's here on the outside.
Right.
And it cannot be opened unless the door is open. So if you've got it locked, nobody's going to take your batteries out. And what was nice is you have a battery compartment tray.
Yeah.
So you're not having to take the camera off the tree.
You just pull the tray out of it,
change your batteries, and then push it back up in there, and it's tight. Lock it in. You shut the door. You put a lock on it. It's secured. Nobody's tampering with your camera. But the issues, the cons, was moisture getting in through this speaker microphone side piece here that Jared just showed you a minute ago.
And the app.
And the app.
Which, the thing is, the app wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Would I still buy that camera if everything's said and done? The only issue you had was the app sucked? Absolutely, because I could still go to that camera and work it just like any other camera.
Yeah.
I could open up the door, I could take the SD card out, put it in an SD card reader, and like we said, the pictures were phenomenal. We'll show some of them. You know, by this point, we may have already put some in the video.
Right. And the thing is, if you go through the history of our videos that we've posted on our channel, there are videos of us checking those cameras a month after it was out, 2 months after that, 6 months after it was out.
I mean, we did a lot of hands-on with these cameras over the past year.
Yeah.
And
now, The CY65, now when it, or the CY50, excuse me, CY50, when it came, I had no issues right out of the box, no problems. Okay, now it only has one PIR sensor. Your camera's right here, and you got these darkened LEDs, and I think this one has.
This one has darkened LEDs, but it also has darkened lenses over the LEDs. That hide them even more.
But this one, same way. You can put a lock on it. You can put a little bit bigger shank lock on it. Of course, you got that view screen, and like right now, this has got fresh batteries in it, and I turn it on, it will not come on.
You probably just made a liar up. No, it didn't.
No. What happened was, I think it was about 6 months. We come to check it. Thought the batteries was dead. Put a new set of batteries in it.
Yep.
I couldn't get it to come on. So I contacted CEYOMUR about it. They sent me another one.
Like I said, they're really good about, I mean, replacing your camera if something goes wrong. But the problem is that I have is I don't feel that camera should have issues within the first year.
Right. Now the thing was, they had me go through steps. Now that's the thing. I can take, they all have USB connections. So you could download straight from your camera your pictures.
Right.
I plugged this into the USB, plugged it into my computer, the camera come on. But it will not come on with the batteries. And when the camera come on, all you could do was see your pictures.
Right.
Okay? But as soon as I unhooked from USB, camera go off, wouldn't come back on. And this one has the same setup. SD card goes on the side. And to get the batteries out, you have a button here. And they come right out the bottom. And you can see, there's the batteries. I'll zoom in here with my editing software so you can see. But they go back in, lock in place. And like I said, if I turn it on, it's not going to come on. I've played with this thing for the past 6 months trying to get it to come on. It will not come on. And it's sealed good. They sent me another one. It's in the woods right now, and it's working. I haven't had a problem yet.
That's not wood. You need to knock wood.
Yeah. Now, I purchased a CY65 and my own CY50.
Right.
Okay. So both of them are out in the woods now too.
And his 65 is working great.
Yeah.
It's not.
Of course,
there's no moisture in it, but he's got it strapped to the tree rather than using that mount. Which I said, it's not the mount's fault. It's the raccoon's fault.
Yeah.
For rotating the camera, and that's a risk you could run with just about any camera, I guess. That was the first time I'd ever used
a
tree mount.
Yeah.
I've always strapped them, but I wanted to try it, and honestly, I liked it. I liked just putting that on the tree, and there's your camera. And it was so easy to adjust because you could tilt down, you could tilt up, you could left, right. I mean, you could do whatever you needed to do. And but even with everything tight, it still got twisted, but it allowed moisture inside.
Now the difference between the CY50 and the 65, this one's not Bluetooth. You have to use an SD card reader. Now, in my earlier videos of some of the pictures I shared from this camera and videos, there is an issue with this one in regard to audio. There's noise in the audio. And I can't remember.
Just from the one that you have.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, it was this one. And it could be because on this one, I do not see anywhere on this camera
where a microphone
would be. Oh, it's inside the door.
Yeah. It's
inside the door right here. Where his is on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's right here beside the on-off button. So with the door closed...
No, I take that back. Right here's the microphone on this one.
It's on the outside, though.
What you have, but what you have on the side here that I was talking about, that's your speaker. So where when you're watching your videos on the screen, you can hear your sound. The microphone on this one
is right beside the PIR sensor.
It's right here on the front. So it's the speaker that allowed
the water to go in. Right. Yeah. So with this one, the noise issue was because there's a door covering up the microphone.
Well, it might have been. I wouldn't full-fledged say that because you said it was that camera. Well, that camera clearly has some type of issue going on with it.
Yeah.
If you had one that was working properly and you had it set up, you might not have that same noise problem.
Right.
Which you say you have another one of these in the woods.
Yeah.
So what we need to do, that one's working properly. We need to try it on video and see what it does. But all in all, I'll sum it up like this. With what I know now, and if I was on YouTube looking at these cameras, say I found them on Amazon or wherever, and okay, I'm interested, I'm going to see some reviews, and I seen this review, the information that I would want somebody to tell me is I probably would not buy these cameras.
I wouldn't recommend them. There's a lot of other... These are cheap cameras.
Well,
compared to a lot of the Bluetooth type.
Well, I get that, but at the same time, we're not doing this to down the company. We appreciate the company sending them to us. We appreciate them letting us try them and everything. That was awesome. But we told them from straight up that if we had issues or if we didn't like them, that's what we were going to do. We were going to tell the truth about it. So I would not buy these cameras with my own money. I would look somewhere else into a different camera. If you're looking for cheap camera, there's a lot of other options out there that are tried and true. And I even know some of those cameras have issues. But from what we've seen, from the reviews that we did early on with these cameras, some of the viewers that watch this channel, they went ahead and bought the cameras. And what we ended up getting back from them was they were experiencing the same issues we were having. And it was like, okay, so this isn't a one and done type situation. It wasn't just we got a bad batch. It was this. Other people are having the exact same issues. So as far as recommending them, no, I wouldn't do that. I believe they could be great. I believe CEYOMUR has something. I believe they could make a very good product. Because like I said, the quality of the pictures is phenomenal. The videos are great.
Well, what would be good on the CY65 is, you know, I'm going to use, if the app is running right, I'm going to use the app to watch and listen. I don't need to watch and listen through the camera.
It's not even the app.
Well, I'm saying
nowadays, the majority of people either take that card home and change cards, or they have a card reader of sorts.
Right.
I don't need a speaker on the camera itself.
That's what I was getting at.
Because either I'm going to pull that card or I'm going to put it in a card reader. I'm not using their app. The app is trash.
Or
just flat out.
Or instead of putting the speaker here, open up the door, make room somewhere in here for the speaker.
Yeah.
So it's not out in the weather.
I still don't need the speaker.
I know, but what I'm just saying is if CEYOMUR wants to do a redesign, they want a speaker in there because it's recording audio and video. Is put the speaker inside the door instead of the outside. Because if you put anything on that speaker to keep moisture from going in, then you're going to muffle the audio.
Yeah, but they also make marine-style speakers.
True.
That are waterproof, not water resistant. They're waterproof. I mean, boats have them, everything else. But they need a full redesign on their app. When I access that app to look at my pictures, I should be able to make them full screen and look at them on that app and then decide whether or not I want to download them to my phone or my tablet or whatever. I shouldn't have to download everything.
Yeah, because when you get them on the app, they're thumbnails. That's all they are. And you may have 3 across or 4 across, and then scroll down the screen. If you got 100 pictures, you got to keep scrolling.
And it acts kind of wonky too on the app. If you're doing video and pictures, I think, what was it? As I was going through, remember how the videos were going split screen and you were only getting half the picture? And
yeah.
This over here was pink and smeared color, almost like a glitch on a computer.
But that was in the app.
And that was in the app. And you're swiping through trying to look at things and because even though you downloaded them, you still looked at them through the app, I believe. Yeah, you still had to go into the app because even though it downloaded it to your phone, it didn't download it to your images file on your phone. It downloaded it to that software's
file.
So then whenever you would go back in, you would go into that same app and you would say, you know, phone storage on that app. And you'd have your pictures and your videos. Well, you'd turn your picture to look at it, you know, long way, so you have a big screen. And you'd swipe over for a video, and only half the video would show up, and the other half would be a black screen. And then you would turn your phone, and it wouldn't want to turn, or it would act glitchy. And the whole thing was just a nightmare. The whole app is a nightmare.
Unless you download it to your phone, to where you could view, the pictures now you could swipe through easy. It was the videos would not swipe good.
Well, no, that's just it. It was downloaded to your phone at that point, because you had to download it to your phone.
Well, yeah, but
the only way to get that to work was to use a different company's card reader,
the wild game
and a different app, and then everything worked smoothly. So I don't fault the camera for that. That's the app's fault.
Yeah.
So they need a complete redesign on their app. Whoever did that, they need to go back to square one on that thing, because it's full of bugs.
But like I said, both cameras, and we'll hurry up and try to close this out. We don't want to make an hour video out of it. Both cameras took good pictures.
Yes.
Took good video.
Yes.
Had a little audio issue with this one here, and I think that's because the microphone is inside the door. His audio was superb.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Had the issue with the fogging because of it getting turned sideways, getting moisture in through the speaker, covering the lens, and having foggy pictures, foggy video. And when it would warm up outside,
it would fog.
It would fog.
When it got real humid in the mornings during summer,
it would fog.
It would fog that lens.
The non-humid, dry days and everything, it was a clear picture.
Yeah.
So like I said, he still got his at home. He's thinking about putting it out again, hoping all the moisture is gone, and see that it works okay. Probably put a strap on it.
Put a strap on it, and then I may even go as far as taking some clear silicone and just right over top of that speaker.
Right. But here's what I'd say. Would I recommend them? No. It's buyer beware. It's your choice. It's your money. If you want a deal, if you get one that doesn't work out of the box, or 30 days, a month, or 30 days,
6 months,
6 months down the road, you have issues, and you want a deal, contacting CEYOMUR about your problem.
Now the thing is, like I said, they're great to work with. They'll send you a new camera. You contact them, at least they did us. You contact them, and they did that other guy too.
Yeah, they did Dan the same
And
one.
you say, hey, the camera quit working, it quit coming on, it's got moisture in it, whatever. They'll send you a new camera. But the problem is if it's leading up to season, do you want to have to wait on that new camera?
Right.
What are you missing? You know, those cameras are tools that we use a lot for scouting and knowing what's in our area. So it's, do you want to wait on a new camera? And is that camera just going to crap out after 6 months and you're going to be contacted again? Because I don't know how many times they're going to replace a camera.
Right. They may only do that one time. Like I said, I don't know if Dan done it once or if he's done it twice, because he had issues right out of the box both times.
Right.
But again, we don't recommend them. It's your choice whether you want to try them or not. Like I said, the pros.
If you're wanting something cheap and you're willing to take the risk, if you get a good one that's
you get
working,
a good one.
They work really well. But as far as the picture quality goes and stuff,
the battery life seemed good.
Battery life seemed really good on them.
This one here, like I said, it was 6 months down the road, and I thought the battery was dead when I went to check it. I turned it on,
Right.
or went to turn it off. It didn't say CEYOMUR goodbye. It just didn't do nothing. I changed the batteries, and it wouldn't come back on. Then I pulled the SD card and taken some pictures, but the battery life seemed good. And again, like I said, would we recommend them? No. You just have to chance it yourself. But this is our year-end review. We got these in March, end of March last year. Still running the ones that I bought and the replacement they gave me for this one.
Right. I've got one of those in the woods too.
Yeah, you're the one that's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I bought my two and I gave you these two.
Yeah. So I've got the replacement for that one.
Right.
It's running in the woods right now, and knock on wood, I've not had issues out of it since it went in the woods.
Right. Same way with my CY65.
That could change here in the next 20 minutes when we go check cameras.
Yeah, we're going to go check cameras. We may have some pictures from those cameras
Yeah.
to include at the end of this video. So if you're watching this video, I know a lot of you like to get out. As soon as you hear that music start playing, you like to get out, because I've seen it on my analytics.
Yeah.
It drops off real quick
Oh,
as soon as that music starts playing. But wait till the end. Pictures we get this time, we'll, from these cameras we got now, we'll share those. But the pictures we have from the cameras that we were given to test, we'll also have them throughout the video. We've already said that. We'd show those pictures. So, for me and Jared, we appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that notify bell. Make sure you hit it to where you're notified that we are uploading videos. And, of course, Monday, tomorrow, is opening day of West Virginia Spring Gobbler. And Jared and I are just, we're itching. We heard one this morning down here on the farm. So we're itching to get in the woods in the morning. So with that, this is what we're fond of saying. See you in the woods. Thanks for watching.